Welcome to This is NAMPA Junior. April is Financial Literacy Month, and so we have with us from the Idaho Central Credit Union, Mikkel and José, who will be sharing wonderful information that is useful to you and for your children as you guide them along their path towards financial literacy. So if you wouldn't mind, would you tell us, were you always interested in finance? Is it something you discovered as you went through time?
Yeah, I didn't know that I was so interested in finance when I first started. I actually really got into Idaho Central just because I saw them out at events all the time. Mm-hmm. And now that's what Jose and I get to do, is go out to different events and go to different schools or businesses and talk to people about financial education.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is probably a part of why you're one of the leading credit unions in our area, if not the Treasure Valley.
Yes, I mean, we like to think so, but yes, we like to help our members and our future members with their financial education so that they can be successful.
Okay, so that takes us to the next question. You found yourself involved with the financial profession. What would you recommend to children who are going into high school or into college to prepare themselves for this sort of future that you are enjoying?
I think it's important for them to start with a savings account, especially since they're going to be wanting to buy something in the future, whether that is purchase a car, put it on a deposit for rent, or maybe even save for college. So I think it's important for them to get started with that.
When would you start a savings account? And what is the difference between a credit union and a bank?
So I think it's important for them to start a savings account with their parents. I think it's important for their parents to start a savings account. As soon as they're able to start saving, the better. As far as the difference between a credit union and a bank, a lot of people don't actually know the difference. A credit union is member owned and not for profit. So we like to take care of our members. Usually our rates are lower than what they would be at a bank. And then the basic or the most important thing that we offer is our service. So we do pride ourselves in our service. That is very important to us.
So when a child comes in, you're saying start a savings as soon as possible. How do you guide them through, and what is financial literacy, so that they can, with their families, be directed in a fashionable and reasonable and, of course, wonderful way?
Yeah, so financial literacy is not something that you can learn all at once. It's something that you gradually learn over time. And so we like to encourage parents to, start with their children with basics so they can see how transactions work. They can see their parents making these transactions. They can see savings and what they would do if they earned money, mm-hmm. and them putting it into their savings account. Then we also educate kids when they come in to open up a savings or a checking account. And we let you know some tips and some tricks for financial success, mm-hmm. some recommendations on savings and things like that. So we really help walk you through the process. And at any point during your financial journey, you are welcome to come into Idaho Central and we can walk through any specific questions.
So it's actually a time of celebration for these children who are realizing that they have acquired this power and that they are in charge.
Yeah, and we actually do a lot of really fun things, actually. So for the students, mm-hmm. On their student accounts, if they come in and make a deposit of $10 or more, or if they bring in their report card and they have an A on their report card, for each A that they have on their report card, we'll give them an entry into a drawing. And for each deposit of $10 or more. And then every quarter at our branches, we do a drawing for $50 to put into their savings account. So that's really excited. It gets kids excited to save money and to also get good grades, of course.
That's a win-win for everyone.
Right.
So when I was a child, I remember that my mom would say, "Not today, I don't have any money." And we as children would think or say, "Why don't you just write a check?" Or, "Why don't we just go to the bank?" The idea of money is an abstract concept for children. How do you help them bridge over what we could not understand?
I think it's important for them to be involved in the decisions. So when you tell them, "Oh, we don't have any money today," you can also say, "But we can start saving for tomorrow." You can help them by setting up a goal, showing them how to budget, not necessarily involve them fully in your finances, but give them an outlet and something that they can use for the future so they can kind of comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, along those lines, if you set family financial goals, it's a great way to involve your kids in finances so that they feel a part of that. Then when they come and ask for a toy or for something, you can say, is that worth the ask? Does that help our family get towards this goal? So that kind of involves them in those things. They're not necessarily involved in the complete financial aspect of, you know, how much money you make and things like that. But then you have goals set as a family that you guys can work towards.
That's wonderful. So you would then put what you have just said in with best practices.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, and then from there you can teach children, you know, what do we need to do to save towards this goal? What are some things, whether it be, okay, you're going to get money from your birthday. Are you going to save 10% of that and put that towards, you know, this family goal? Are you going to spend it on something else? So it kind of gives them some buy-in so that they know if it's worth spending on or if it's worth saving for.
So that goal might be something as small as let's say a day in Boise going to the parks and a swimming pool, or it could be a vacation.
Yeah.
The nice thing too is on our website, so like we were talking about, it's important to get started with your savings account. We offer these sorts of widgets where you can set up a savings goal, you can set up a budgeting tool, and it's nice to get the kids incorporated because kids are really good with technology nowadays. And so they will pick it up instantly in no time. There's tutorials on them to show them how to do it, and then you can have a family savings goal as well. When I used to work in a branch, we would have a family that would come in and they had their own savings account. They were saving for Disneyland. So any spare change that they had, they would bring it in. We also have coin counters in our branches, so they would get their coins counted for free and then deposit it into that savings account. So yeah,
That's
it's
a
really
wonderful
nice.
thing to know, because there aren't many banks that will count coins for you any longer. And to think that from that they can bring in their bag of change and you'll put it into their savings.
Yeah, and watching kids do that process is actually really fun because, you know, you're working hard, you're saving up your piggy bank and putting money in there, and then you can bring that change in and just dump it in there and see the money accumulate in there. So it's really fun to see kids' faces when they're putting their piggy banks in there and then they get to deposit that into the account. So that's really fun.
Yeah, that would be a very warming moment. Yeah. So we kind of touched on the difference between wants and needs. Can you give a clear idea of how you would help a child to determine a difference between a want and a need?
Yeah, it's important to separate that, because I may want something right now for that instant gratification, but I may need something for the future. So for example, my son just started baseball, right? And if he wanted to save for a new baseball mitt, but he wanted a video game instead, I could tell him, well, you want the video game and you can play that video game in your free time, but you really need a new baseball mitt. So that's how it's easy to show into them. Also, what the example that I like to use with my kids is food. While you need food to feed you and to stop you from being hungry, you want a cupcake instead. So that's what I like to use. They really relate to food.
Definitely want a cupcake.
Yeah, it's instant too.
Right?
So you have a child. What is your thought about allowance? One that is earned or one that is just kind of an expectation where they're given X amount and after that?
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, allowances can be a really great thing because it can teach children about earning some money and what they're going to do with it, whether they're going to split some out for savings. I've seen people where they've had 3 different sections on like a little piggy bank, and some could go in for savings, some could go in for stuff that they want right now, and then, you know, something that they want in the future, like a bigger thing. So just, you know, one that's just going to completely be savings and never touched, and then savings for something that they want later. And so I think those can be good things because that's kind of mimicking a salary when you get older. And so it gives them a way to see that you need to make decisions with that money and save a little bit, spend a little bit. You know, you still want to have fun with some of that stuff. So it's a good way.
So you could almost have then money that they can use right away, and that's it, and then the savings, and then the future goal.
Yeah, so you can set different goals. I've seen people with a specific goal on the one, so they've kind of made a box out of it and put a couple different dividers in there. And one was like a goal for the near future, whether it was like a bicycle, okay?
Sure.
And then there was something for spending now. Maybe they want to go to the dollar store and get something now with their allowance, and then a savings that's ultimate savings, one that they're not going to touch, but it's just going to keep growing and things like that. And you can do that as well with savings accounts. You can have different savings accounts and name them different things so that they know what the goal is for that savings account and can keep working towards that.
With savings account then, is there money that their savings earning for them?
Yeah. So the nice thing too about having the savings account and starting it as soon as possible, once you reach a certain amount, then it starts accumulating interest. So then that way you can also teach them about compound interest and how they can put their money to work. So that's really nice, and that's everything that they can see online. They can see how much money their account is earning based on how much money is in there.
So does each individual get a certain link, or how do they access their savings account? It used to be, there was a savings book. So how is that happening now?
Yeah, so with youth accounts, we actually do give the youth a little savings book that they can track their deposits and their withdrawals from there, so they can kind of keep track of that. But also, yes, we can do different sign-ons for the online banking, and then they can kind of track it that way. They can log into their own account, just theirs specifically, not the parents, and they can see where they're at. Like Jose said, we have those savings goals that you can track with. They have a savings bar and you can see where you're at for those things. So it really gives that visual feel to it, and they're able to save up for whatever their goals are.
Yeah, and we also give the parents control over their kids' accounts. So like, for example, instead of you paying them for their allowance, you can transfer the money into their account so they're able to see that transfer immediately from you. It's nice too to have the coin counter where they can save up their coins and take it into the branch. But also, if the parents want to set up like an automatic transfer to their kids' accounts, you have that ability. And then when they do get older, they can get a checking account, and then the parents have control over that as well. So we give the parents the tools to not only be able to monitor their kids' accounts, but it's also separate from their own personal accounts, so their kids don't necessarily have to be involved in their finances.
I remember as a child opening up my savings account and putting in a deposit, and then they would add what my money had earned, and it was like such a wonderful gift. That brings the question of a checking account versus a debit card.
A checking account for youth, we usually start those at around 12 years old. Usually when they're 12 years old, they can start adding a checking account on. And with a checking account, they can get a debit card. It is important to teach children about debit cards and where that money comes from, because when they swipe their debit card, that is coming from their checking account, which is money that they've earned and that they already have. That's where the debit card would come from. Some kids are confused because credit cards, it looks the same, but credit cards are actually a loan. So you're swiping your card and paying for something, and we're loaning you that money. And that's a promise that you're going to pay us back when you use that. So teaching them the difference between a debit card and a credit card, and that debit card comes directly from their checking account and the money that they've already worked for and earned, and that they can only use the amount that's in there. They can't, use any more than that. So it's a good way to get them started on knowing that.
What a wonderful opportunity for learning that you present to them, because it seems that you're walking them through, and as they get older, that you introduce something else that is still a part of that continued learning, which is amazing.
Yeah, we love giving them the opportunity to grow and learn. And, we want to walk them through every aspect. We don't want somebody to feel that they don't know how to handle their finances from any step. We want to make sure that they feel comfortable, and we will answer any question. It's of no bother to us. Yes. We are happy to help people. So we encourage our members and our future members to come in and talk to us about that stuff.
Yes. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to add? And what can parents do to contact you to get any information that we haven't covered?
The most important thing is there's questions that are always going to arise. The nice thing is that we're always there for all of our members, whether that would be a simple phone call to our call center a visit to any of our branches in the Treasure Valley, because we do have quite a bit of them. You can even call in and video chat now on your phone, which is really cool. Pretty much anything that you can do in a branch other than, get a cashier's check, you can do now off of your phone too. So pretty much we're always available to our members because we know that without them, we don't exist.
Yes, we always love helping them. If you are looking to set up an account for your child, Jose and I are happy to help with that. We will post our information for people to contact us, and we can kind of help them with that and teach them any tips or tricks that you might want them to learn as they're starting their accounts and things like that. So
in closing, how would you compare the experience between a credit union and a bank, and how you said that you were member owned? Can you finish with that?
Yeah, so the really great thing about a credit union is that we are run by a volunteer board of directors. They're members of ours, and they use their voice to help us decide how we're going to run the credit union. So that's really fantastic. We don't have people at the top that need money. They are just volunteering their time and are being the voice of the credit union. So that's really great. So it's our own members that are helping make decisions. So we're able to provide better service, give better rates and lower rates. We don't have to bring in a profit to shareholders at the top. The volunteers are there making those decisions. So credit unions are a really great thing for our communities. Typically, we can put more money back into our communities and help some of our programs thrive, and different events throughout the communities, and then give better rates on interest and things like that, and less fees. So those are some really great things, but I think what sets us apart from everybody is our member service. We really pride ourselves on taking care of our members and making sure that they are financially successful.
We have a wonderful packet that the Idaho Central Credit Union has put together for us to share with you to help you along that journey. This is geared towards children, and it also has some wonderful things that you'll be able to engage with. Obviously, we have many books here, and we have our Ollie Funny Money that you'll be working with.
Yes, I love that you offer so many great financial books for kids that are really fun to read. Along with that, they can come into the Nampa Public Library and grab some of these packets. There's a limited number, but we have some, fun color changing pencils in here.
Some stickers.
Yes, and some more tips on achieving financial success from tips that Idaho Central Credit Union provided. So just a fun little thing for your kids to grab and to get them excited about learning about money.
Within the Idaho Credit Union, what are the different avenues or careers that are available?
So we do have a lot of different careers, from the most obvious, you can be a teller or you can be a loan officer in one of our branches, but we also have a new Eagleview building that you guys may have seen in Meridian. So there's a lot of back-end stuff that goes in there as well. There's many different careers such as marketing that you can get into. So it's not just about numbers and finances. There's a lot of back-end things that you can also do.
But we would also say, if you were interested in getting into the financial world, some classes that might be helpful are financial classes, math classes, and even business classes. Just gaining those basic member skills, helping members, and customer service type of things. So those are always helpful to get into.
As long as you have a passion for helping people, more than likely we can have you on our.
So it's that passion for customer service for your members, and then from there, you as a team would guide them.
Absolutely, yeah. So even if you don't necessarily have that background, you can kind of get started into that. But definitely having those financial classes are always going to be helpful, and things like that. But there are a lot of different avenues that you can go through, and lots of great opportunities within Idaho Central Credit Union.
So if parents are struggling because they do not have that strength in financial literacy, what sort of things could you do, either through all the avenues that you have, from virtual talks to coming in and just sitting down, having an appointment with you? What would you offer them, and how can you help?
Yeah, we've had a lot of those instances. Finances are a hard thing, and especially in different generations, people haven't really discussed their finances a lot. So it's kind of been one of those things where people haven't really discussed it, but we love to help people with that. You're welcome to come. Even if you're not a member with us, you can come in, sit down. We can walk you through some options, some ways to help you. We have via our website at www.iccu.com. You can check out our blog that has different topics that we talk about, different things you can learn, just all different financial topics that you might be curious about. So we have our blog, we have a YouTube channel that you can go check out those things. So we have a lot of great resources for parents, and we're happy to sit down with parents and children to discuss those things.
One thing that I would get a lot when I would work in the branch, people would say, oh, don't look at my credit score, don't make fun of me, or I don't want you to think badly of me. That is not the case at all. We can do financial reviews with anybody that walks in the branch. And like Mikkel said, whether they're members or not, it's not necessary for you to be a member for us to help you. We like to help people. And then eventually you will become a member because you will love our service.
You will love it. And probably my favorite thing that we have been able to do and to help people with is that we have Spanish-speaking team members in every single one of our branches. And we have people like José that speak Spanish that can help you.
Sí, en cualquier sucursal pueden visitar, que sea alguien de un cajero, alguien que le pueda ayudar con cualquier tipo de préstamo o que también le pueda dar consejos financieros sobre todo lo que pueda necesitar.
I would like to thank you so very much for the service that you provide to the community, that you are welcoming to anyone and everyone. They do not have to be a member in order to get your wisdom and to help them through sometimes very difficult processes. So we're happy you're here. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for having us.